You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We do not have any new callers, so let me double check. Yep, let's get started with Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Hey, Pack Daddy, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
What's up?
I'm about to make what possibly could be viewed as a controversial take.
Oh, boy.
But just hear me out.
All right.
And let me explain what I'm about to say. I think the Packers are a little bit to blame for people out there giving Caleb Williams hype. So, Caleb Williams did, I'm going to state facts, he did win a game in overtime against the Green Bay Packers. He did win a game in the playoffs where he came back and beat the Packers. So you have to look back all the years since Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. When have the Chicago Bears really done anything like that in the same season against the Packers? It's usually been Aaron Rodgers being the boogeyman. And Green Bay, unfortunately, kind of choked away the onside kick and let Chicago come back in that game. Green Bay, I guess you could say they kind of just ran out of gas in the playoffs and just let their Chicago just get the momentum and come back and win that game. So if that had not happened, you would not hear the media, you would not hear Bears fans getting a big head and talking him up. It is Green Bay's first and foremost, I think, goal is to put that to rest the first game that they play them. Now, I say that because I too am sick and tired of hearing Bears fans talk. Totally. So I'm just saying it because I think it needs to happen. Okay? So we wouldn't have to be putting up with all this off-season crap if they had just taken care of business. So it's time for them to take care of business and end that, because we never had to deal with that with Fields or Trubisky. So let's just end it. End it.
Well, and it's annoying because we even the way you phrase it, where it's like, well, we didn't have that with Fields and Trubisky, it puts it in a way as though Caleb is the main driver here. And, you know, it's not as though he did nothing, but my goodness. I mean, congratulations on winning a game in which the Packers choked and gave it away. Frickin' unbelievable work. Well done. I mean, honestly, what is the most impressive win? I'm going to be the petty Packers fan. What is the most impressive game that they won? When you look at the Packers, when you look at how they were playing, when you look at their injuries, when you look at everything else, this was a team that had nothing. This is a team that if they had been playing the way that they were at the end of the season, they would have been a frickin' 4-win team. They were done. Call it injuries, call it whatever you want. They had nothing. And they still took you to task all the way down to the end before they finally just completely gave up. And you had the luckiest streak in the world to go on to win these games. So, I mean, seriously, which game is the most impressive? The games where we didn't have our starters? I mean, Jordan played in like, what, 1 of 4 fully healthy for the entire game, or 2 of 4 or 2 of 5? it wouldn't be 5, but it would because there's a playoff game. Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it's so stupid and pathetic that this is some kind of a great accomplishment. So I do agree that the Packers need to put this to bed. It just has to be done. No more freaking excuses. Jordan has to be healthy. Everybody's got to be healthy and available, and they have to win. And you have to embarrass that freaking team and show everybody what they really are, which is really not good. They were not good all year. They were not good in the games that they played against us and beat us, which is why a dog crap Packers team dominated them for 3 quarters. And then you saw who they really were after they got done playing the Packers team that didn't belong in the playoffs in that state. They go on to play a real playoff team, and they got embarrassed. And Caleb Williams looked like dog crap. Last time we saw him, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. I mean, in the entire postseason. But in that game, it was horrific. That was the last image we have of him, and we're still going to, crown him as some kind of a hero? This is stupid.
Ryan, I've been waiting for a long time for you to get on board with a soundboard. I think it's hilarious. It just adds so many layers to what Packernet After Dark already has. So this could be epic. I can't wait to see where your mind goes on this, because you're like a 5-year-old when it comes to this stuff. So I can't wait, man. I've been waiting for a while. I've been hoping you were going to do something like this. So it's awesome.
Just so you know, I'm only 50% to blame for all this new crap that annoys the hell out of some of you guys. AI podcasts and soundboard fart sounds and all this stuff. Because I throw little things out there. I just kind of throw it out, just tease it a little bit and just kind of wait for the response, Soundboard, I thought it was, I enjoy it, but I'm just envisioning people at home going like, if he keeps doing that, I'm not listening anymore. So I don't know. It's there somewhere in one of these many tabs, and I'm sure I'll push a button here and again. And I'm very eager to maybe continue with that AI thing where I have an AI producer listening and then throwing out sounds, because I think that would be hilarious, at least for my sense of humor. But I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot coming back. So things like Garrett encouraging me, they're really the ones to blame. Just so you know. Uncle Rico.
Yo, Ryan, it's your Uncle Rico.
Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to give you my 2 cents. You were talking about the quarterback situation and the backup quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. And pretty much it seems like your opinion is that other than Tyrod Taylor, that stuff's not worth talking about. Chiron, drones, and those fellers. But I'm kind of thinking that they might be worth talking about. I mean, the Packers have them in camp, which means something, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think they'd bring in somebody that, in their opinion, was a waste of their time. So they're there for a reason, right? And old Tyrod has never really established himself as,
Well, I'll let you finish.
Somebody who's definitely going to come in and win it. I guess he would be a starter on the team if he was definitely going to come in and win a game. I don't have mixed feelings about that, I guess. I'm glad we have him. He's an experienced quarterback, and that's nice and comfortable feeling to have experience back there. But he's not. I don't know why he would start winning games now after 120 years in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, just curious about why you like to just jump right to the conclusion that the other guys, other than Tyrod, are not in the equation, really. Anyways, all right, y'all have a good day.
Well, I guess I have a few questions. Number one, I don't know what you're referring to that I had said. I'm not entirely sure in what context, because that's kind of important what I said and in what context. I'm not really sure. I'm gathering that you're implying that it's possible that, I mean, look, first of all, as far as not talking about guys, there's a lot of guys. Dante Barnett is on this team. MJ Devonshire is on this team. Brennan Rice is on this team. Mervyn Kenyon is on this team. There's a lot of guys on this team, and they're not going to get a lot of time being talked about on this podcast because the odds that they end up, for example, you mentioned, well, Drones is on the team. Why don't you think he could possibly be our number 2? Well, Brendan Rice is on this team. Could he be the number 1 or number 2? No, of course not. Tyrod Taylor was brought in to be the backup quarterback. I would bet a amount of money that my wife would divorce me over that he is going to be the backup quarterback. The fact that we have other guys, of course we have other guys. We're never going to just have 2 in training camp. When we have a 90-man roster, they're going to fill out all these rosters and they're going to have lots of competition. Plus, we need a number 3. So, I mean, this really boils down to Jordan is our number 1, Tyrod Taylor is our number 2, McCord and Drones are guys that they want to see if, first of all, who they're going to make as the number 3/practice squad guy and who they're not. And then, pending putting 2 on the practice squad or something. And then maybe long-term development, could one of these guys end up being a number 2 is kind of always going to be the goal. They're the developmental type guys. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible that one of these guys could step up. And I never really know exactly what the angle is you're coming from. You obviously have something on your mind. I'm guessing, I don't know if it's Drones. I know some other podcasters have been talking about Drones as being like, keep an eye on the guy or whatever. I don't know if other people are talking like, watch out for these guys being the number 2 or something. I'm not entirely sure. If that's their contention, that's fine. If that's your contention, that's fine. That's 1,000% not my contention. This happens every year. We have 4 quarterbacks. Malik last year was our number 2. We had guys behind Malik. Was there any doubt who our number 2 was just because there's other guys on the roster? Of course not. Malik was going to be the number 2. I'm not exactly sure what prompted the question, what I said and in what context and what you're exactly thinking. But as far as not talking about them, I mean, I've mentioned their names, and I'm sure I will again, and probably much more so when training camp happens, when things happen, and when we have information. That's the other thing. I have nothing to talk about for them. They haven't done anything. Drones literally has done nothing. So once those things start happening, then we can have those secondary conversations of, he looks pretty good. Could he end up being this, that, or the other? And if things go super crazy, Tyrod Taylor doesn't look very good, or he's injured or something, or Drones or McCord look amazing. We could talk about it, but at this point, June 24th, we certainly don't have a ton of super in-depth things to talk about, so we could if we wanted to, but I would assume that would not be everybody's favorite podcast to talk about our number 3 and number 4 quarterbacks and whatnot. As far as like introductory, we've definitely already done that at some point, probably a long time ago. So, I don't know. I guess that's the best. I tried to answer that from every different angle to try to cover your question. So hopefully I did, but, I will try to include Drones commentary whenever I can, I guess. All right. Let's take a break here. We'll come back. We got Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Hey, Ryan, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo.
I guess there are people who listen to this podcast that decide to maybe take some ideas and apply it to their own podcast, because a long while back I had mentioned that maybe to fill in the gap on days where, it's that time of year where there isn't much football news, that maybe you could consider doing, classics, where you do throwback episodes of something, from a year ago on this date, this happened. And looks like Andy Herman's taking a page out of our idea book and applying it to Pack-A-Day, because now they're doing Pack-A-Day Classics. So, yes, you can't beat them, join them. So, good for Andy. But I know that you said in the past, Ryan, that I guess from different posting websites or whatever, that you lost a bunch of those originals, and there's no way that, I guess, to retrieve them, which is kind of sad. That is sad.
To be clear, I can go back probably 4 years, 5 years. I just can't go back 6, 7 years. So there's a ton that's sitting there. And I honestly, it is a good idea. I just forgot. So I will try to remember. I don't know exactly what the format of that would be. Maybe just a separate show or something. I don't know. Could be interesting, especially if there's like some commentary at the beginning to be like, on this date, here was kind of what was going on. Here was the context. Anyways, here's the show kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. I just thinking about it, it does sound genuinely interesting to kind of go back to what it was like. And I'm sure there was some horrifically bad commentary by me that could be in there. So we may have to skip some episodes. Hey, AI, did I say anything stupid in this episode? I'll try to remember to keep that thought up.
Not to be able to go back and look and listen to some of the original OG episodes, but anyways, just throwing that out there. I was curious if anybody else noticed that. So, other than that, I sure hope that during this downtime when everything's super slow and nothing's going on, that maybe you'll take up the idea of doing a Sal traveling around cross country, doing the Sal's cross country conversations. So, like getting stuck in Kansas with Andy episode, and he has a flat tire, something like that. Anyways, just trying to throw you out some material out there. So, have a good one.
Well, appreciate it. I'm just still trying to get through kind of what I got already going on here, trying to get that squared away and a little bit, working a little bit better. But yeah, there is quite a big list of other things to consider. I think that's a pretty good one. Just have to figure out, like I said, the style and the format of that. Garrett again.
So Ryan, I don't know if this has crossed your mind or not, but inquiring minds probably are wanting to know. Last year, we know Mr. Hot Dog himself, Ben Johnson, took off his shirt to win a bet to get hot dogs for life at this hot dog stand somewhere on Michigan Avenue or something like that. And with the hot dog eating contest coming up for the 4th of July, I think maybe Joey Chestnut may have himself some competition with Ben Johnson. So maybe he's been eating hot dogs every single day and getting ready for that competition. So, you have to wonder how many pig missiles he's been stuffing in that pie hole of his and getting ready for it. But, there's a big mouth, so I bet he can stick a lot of them in there.
Okie doke. Calm down.
But this one, I think Joey Chestnut might have some competition this year with Ben Johnson.
Hey, he might have a future after all, doing something useful. That's the other thing. I'm obviously he's got a great reputation, and he may end up being like a McVay or something that, whether he's the top mind or something for a while or not, he remains kind of at or near the top, or a Shanahan or something. But I am supremely hopeful. The stuff in Detroit was not always perfect. And I do think a lot of it was predicated on the elite players that he had around him, way more elite than what Detroit is working with right now, by far. Just one of the more dominant offensive lines with a fantastic duo, and then you put behind that an extremely accurate quarterback. The pieces were all exactly there. He doesn't have that. And his team was bad, and it got lucky. And he's an overly aggressive coach, and a lot of that stuff came back to bite him in Detroit when the stakes got high. I'm really hopeful for his reputation to tank, because right now he is seen as a genius, despite the fact, again, it wasn't that good of a team. They had some serious issues. Let's at least put it that way. So I don't know, man. I genuinely don't like him. I really don't, and I'm not a huge fan of Caleb either. But that guy's freaking obnoxious.
Hey, Ryan, Janet from California.
Hello.
I was looking at the PFF offensive line grades. More specifically, I was asking Claude to find me everything you can on how they grade, what system do they use to grade the offensive line. And I think I accidentally stumbled on why the grades don't really reflect offensive line pass blocking performance as a weight over run blocking, because it always seems like the run blocking guys get pushed up. It's inherently on the grade of how they grade run blocking. If it's a neutral play, you get 0. If it's a above average, like, whoa, that was a cool play, they get +2. And then on a negative play, it's -2, right? That's how their scale works.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at that's run blocking. If you look at pass blocking, they don't have a +2, right? They don't there's nothing if you just don't get beat. There's no exceptional performance, so they don't push you up +2. So it's kind of it's more of a number that they whatever.
Hello, Daniel.
It kind of looks like that's the point where they mess up and they have the issue of trying to quantify that back in with a different number that's not like scaled the same. So I think that's why, because they are compensating by trying to like make them equivalent, but still like subconsciously, I don't know if there is a subconscious nature to it where it's falling off. But I just thought you would find that interesting because you've said it multiple times. I've seen it and noticed it multiple times that it just favors run blocking. So I think it's more like it's a different thing. So, but I don't know, just something interesting. Go Paco.
Yeah, I haven't thought to really look into that. I probably should, because it's probably just a pretty simple calculation. Maybe even somebody over there could answer. Maybe Dara would answer because he works at PFF now. I don't know, or he could find out or something. But I mean, so to be clear, it's not really that they don't give high pass blocking grades, because they do. They give very high pass blocking grades. The issue is if you have like 60 is average. So if you had like a, I don't know, 70 and an 80, let's say, for 70 pass blocking or a 80 pass blocking and a 70 run blocking, it just feels like the grade ends up being like a 71. And I'm thinking, let's assume the pass blocking, run blocking, they did the same amount. You generally do more pass blocking, so that should weight heavier. But let's say it's exactly 50-50. Well, don't you just kind of split it down the middle? I know the calculations don't exactly work that way, but I would expect the grade to be about a 75. And also, if anything, you're going to weight pass blocking to be more important than run blocking. So if there was one weighted higher than the other, maybe it's a 76, 77, 78, I don't know. But I consistently see where they have like a 70 run blocking and an 80 pass blocking, and they end up with a 71 grade. Or inversely, it's a 80 run blocking and a 60 pass blocking, and they have like a 78 grade. It's like, what? I don't understand. It's probably not that dramatic or that drastic, but it does seem to always weight heavier toward the run blocking. So maybe that's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is exactly.
Hey, I was looking at just what the Rams just did with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And coming up, they got some guys they got to pay, right? And they have a very exceptional defensive tackle. And I was just thinking, it's like, well, what if we don't pay this guy? And I started looking at everything, and in my head, I'm like, well, there might be a good chance that they don't do it. But there's like, well, no, it's in the NFL this year, the defensive tackle is going to be a premium position, especially somebody like Kobe Turner, who's going to be a free agent this offseason. But I started looking at all the other people, and, there's some good names. A lot of these guys are old guys, so maybe if they wanted, because you just see what's going to happen this offseason. We're going to have Wyatt, we're going to have McClellan, and then I believe we're also going to have Hargrave. But that's 3 guys, but we have a lot of picks, so they might just say, hey, we got the starter guys. We'll just use draft picks and fill in. But if they didn't want to go that route and they wanted to make a splash and he actually made it through, you got Kobe Turner. A funny name that's in there is TJ Slayton. That'd be
funny.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, but I just, the more I kind of dug into the Kobe Turner thing and just kind of looking at, like, how the stuff's going to all come together, and I don't know. I don't think I think the Rams would keep him, and then they have offensive linemen and other positions that they would just, like, all right, we're just going to go draft guys and fill in over there now instead, because that's what the Rams have been doing. So I was looking at trying to see the best scenario. I think, like, Steve Avila, the guard center that they have, I think they would just not pay him. He's been a decent, above average guard, but I think they would prioritize trying to keep that D line together, or just push money out, because these guys don't care about money. But I don't know, Kobe Turner, if that dude makes it into free agency, even though he's 28, not like the 25, 26, but 28 is a little older, I still could see Goody going after a guy like that, just because of the interior pass rush that he provided, especially as like a rookie. You see, like, this guy just came out of into the league just having great pass rush reps, and I just think that he'd be a great addition to this team. But hopefully we have a good season this year and McClellan makes it.
3 minutes got him there. Yeah, I mean, obviously we got a lot of time between now and free agency next year. We got to see how things materialize, but those are the kinds of articles and things that are going to start coming out at the end of this year, which is, those potential free agents, guys that either are free agents or maybe they aren't and they're just not going to get paid, or that's the kind of stuff that you're going to have to start digging into. It's, again, super, super early, but it does make sense to look at teams like the Rams and say, look, you win all in, and sometimes with those all in teams, maybe they, if they desperately want to keep you, they can. It's not a matter of they can't, but maybe you're a little bit more strict on who we pay and how much we can pay and all that stuff. And guys like Kobe Turner end up maybe not quite making it. So it'll be something to keep an eye on for this year. See how he does in year 4. Like you mentioned, he is a little bit older, 27 right now. He'll be 28, kind of like the guy that we got already in Wyatt. So we shall see. Kind of want to see how Wyatt does. If he kind of locks it down, see how McClellan does. We might have a position next year of why would we bother, or we might be a little desperate and say, please, please, please go get that guy. All right, take a break. We got Beer Cheese Benny on the other side.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers. Oh, no. 5 beers. Oh, no. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers.
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny here. I'm on my way back to the hospital in Camp Lejeune I got to go to because my wife is getting her gallbladder removed. I had to drop her off had to take the kids with because daycare doesn't open till 6. We had to be at the hospital at 6. I had to go drop her off and then go back, drop the kids off at daycare. And I'm on my way back, but figured I would call in the meantime on my way back over there because it's like an hour drive from where I'm at. But I was thinking recently about with Micah Parsons being out for, I mean, we're assuming 6 to 8 weeks into the season we won't get him back, maybe, or something like that. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I almost think that this is like the best thing that could happen, because imagine, like, you know, we kind of, I feel confident in what we have without Parsons, and I feel like Lucas Van Ness is going to take a step up this year, and then, you know, you have Hargrave, and you have a lot of these younger guys that I truly believe in, and our safety room, I think, is bar none, like, the best. And we've upgraded the corner room, and Cisse is looking, like, pretty promising. You know, if we can just stay well above 500, getting Michael Parsons back late in the season is going to be the best thing, because then it just bolsters us. And, you know, I'm a big believer in not peaking too early. And so, like, if we can just be kind of pretty good, and then Micah Parsons come back, and then, like, we're just freaking amazing. Like, I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is the best thing for us. And the offense, I know with Kraft being back, is going to be unbelievable. And with, you know, Christian Watson now being, like, for sure, like, our number one, and Dobbs not being there, I think Dobbs, like, as much as I like Dobbs, I think him not being here is the best thing for us, because Golden, he can now flourish. I feel he'll get more targets. You know, we got Reed. I really like this team, man. I really do going into it. And I just think this season it's going to be a good one, man. And I think we're going to enjoy it a lot. And I think a lot of people doubt it, especially the national media with their stupid narratives about love. But go Pack, go, baby. I think this is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of as I had mentioned, as far as, you know, if you want to have a dominant season all year, that's never really going to happen. If you have to choose, would you like to start hot and end like garbage, or start like garbage and end hot? Obviously, everybody would rather end hot. It's I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's a good thing that we're not going to have Micah, but it could end up being a good thing. You know, you never know how things are going to play out. If I had my choice, would I choose to have premium players sit out for the first half of the season, or whatever it ends up being? No. But it's possible that a negative could be a positive in that he comes back completely fresh when everybody else is feeling tired. He's going up against beaten and battered and backup tackles because everybody else is injured. He's completely fresh. He's got no dings, bruises, nothing on him. And he's just coming back and tearing things up when we need it the most. So, yeah, I mean, it could be like a freaking movie, man. They'll make movies about this, like Rudy. Here comes Micah Parsons at the end of the season to save the day. That's got to be the hope, I think.
Yo, what up? This is Nico in Idaho.
What's up?
Just listening to the pod today. You got close, Uncle Rico. I thought Ryan had to... Ryan, when certain people call, does your finger just hover over like the little stop?
It never used to be Uncle Rico. I don't think ever. Nico and Rico were solid. It was there were other people that always were like, oh no, here we go. You know, Jersey Mike got maybe a little carried away. Now I'm not as, you know, I prefer the non-swearing, but it's after dark and we kind of just let it fly. But yeah, Rico's getting comfy over here, man. This is just where he hangs out and just gets it off his chest.
But I guess you have the advantage of, you know, it not being live, right? Unlike us. But anyways, as far as the whole who's got the advantage, on a non-padded practice. I've just always heard that, especially on the line, offensive, defensive line, it's really hard to get a gauge of who's good and who's not. Because no defender is going to just launch into a tight end or an offensive lineman without pads and just try to just kill them. They kind of run those plays down there a little, halfway, and there's always going to be someone that's more committed, kind of like that one before they totally nerfed the Pro Bowl, made it like flag football, or even before that they made it East versus, I don't know, that's the dumbest thing ever. But the fact that, they used to just play the Pro Bowl, there's always that one defender that'll just come up and light up a receiver. And they're like, come on, man, what's going on? And then that guy would get like defensive player of the game, because the receiver wasn't thinking a defender in a Pro Bowl was going to play like that. I think it's similar to like non-padded practice. And I've never been in an NFL non-padded practice. It's funny, we had a drill one time where when I was in college football, and don't get me wrong, I never played. I played special teams. I was not a starter. I probably came in sometimes we were like losing by 40, when we would just run the ball up the middle and run the timeout. That was my prime time. But I was throwing on the defensive side during practice, and they were figuring out who to block on a pitch. So I'm standing there, I'm holding the huge tackle dummy thing to represent a defensive end. And the quarterback hacks the ball. He pitches it to the halfback who's got a fullback in front of him, and he's running at me. And it's a non-padded practice. I'm kind of standing there like, yay, this is fun. I don't play defensive end. Ooh. And the dude levels the crap out of me. He hit me with the full force of, like, a train. And this guy was a train. He was like 6'2", 240, just solid. And he could move, too. And that guy was way more committed to using, contact in a non-padded practice than I was. I think that's kind of what you get in the NFL during non-padded practice.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Nico part 2.
It's like all the defensive players, on the line just become a speed rusher and just want to go around the outside because they don't really want to. And I've heard other NFL players talk about how, when you come up, you got some new kid and who is it? Someone tells a funny story about Reggie, like first day of practice. It might have been Bach, or it might have been someone older. Hits Reggie. And Reggie's like, now here's this, Sonny. We don't do that. We don't do this in practice. On the offensive defensive line, I don't think the non-padded practice is an accurate way to gauge either someone can block somebody or someone can get around somebody. But I think it's different out in the backfield because, when that receiver's running his route, yeah, he ain't wearing pads, but also neither is the safety or the cornerback. And you guarantee you that receiver is trying his best to run a drop head route, and that cornerback or safety is trying their best to blanket that dude with or without pads, because that doesn't seem to be as big of an issue. So I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, I've never been in an NFL unpadded practice. I've been in a few at the college level, which I caught the brunt of that. But just I've heard other offensive defensive linemen say, I take my word for it. You can take their word for it. But anyways, if you have a rebuttal to that, I'd love to hear it. And go back up.
No, I don't have a rebuttal. Non-padded practice doesn't really give you very much. But it's, I don't know, it's like I said, at some point you have to care. Because we do this game all the time where it's like, oh, man, this guy looks good. And then the rebuttal is, yeah, well, it's non-padded. Wait till the pads come on. And then the pads come on and it's, yeah, well, it's just training camp. Wait until this. And then it's wait until this. And then it's wait until this. And then the season starts and it's, well, it's just week 1. Wait until week 4 or 5 or 6 or something. And really there isn't a point because things change from second to second to second. So there's never a point where you just kind of know how good somebody is, Like Rashawn Gary was really, really good. And then all of a sudden he was just really, really bad. and I don't know why that happened. I can't really explain why that would have happened, but it did. So I don't know. I guess it's just a matter of, it's a good thing when guys look good. I do think that there have been plenty of examples of guys playing well and it being kind of an example of what's to come. And I don't just mean that anecdotally, like it's happened a couple times, therefore it's useful or whatever. I mean, it seems to me that, if I had to put my money somewhere, I'd put my money on the guys that are doing well as opposed to the guys you're not hearing about, I guess, even though it doesn't carry as much weight as pads, and it doesn't carry as much weight as this, and it doesn't carry as much weight as that, which doesn't carry as much weight as the preseason, which doesn't carry as much weight as the regular season. Can you evaluate them on? No, you can't evaluate anything. Well, I shouldn't say anything, but you can't evaluate things. It would be silly to come out and say, he's a good player because of what he did here, like in its totality, like if you're talking about especially a rookie or something. But again, I don't want to get caught in that trap of never praising anybody for anything because you have to just wait and see and nothing matters until ultimately it's just, did you win Super Bowl MVP? Otherwise, nothing matters. You know what I mean? And obviously there's a big gap, but the point is it always does that. That's always the game we play. That's always the way it goes. And ultimately, it's true, right? Even when pads come on, I could absolutely play that game. So what? It's practice, bro. You getting all jacked up about practice? Why don't you wait until the real game? And then, again, week 1, somebody plays bad. Does that mean they're bad? No, it means they had a bad game. Might be great tomorrow. Or next week. They might be great at the end of the season. They might be great in 3 years. I don't freaking know what's going to happen. So, I don't know. Again, I guess my standard on it is it's good when people do good. That's best I can do. I don't know. Do I hit you with the Batman or are you Bruce now? With you want to do Batman?
What up, Brian?
Bruce.
You suck, Brian.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, you don't. But you said you wanted to get adversarial towards you.
I see.
There, got adversarial. Actually called in to talk about
trying to find a Bruce thing.
Pitt just got signed to.
Hold on, sorry, I got it. Bruce, yeah, okay.
Signed to a lucrative tight end deal. I really thought the Packers were going to try to get Kraft, so they can get him closer to that, like Kittle money or. Just money that was a little bit more now, obviously. Not that they're going to have to break the bank. We already knew that Kraft was going to get a really good contract. But now with the Pitt deal coming through, Pitt's tight end, Atlanta, I believe, still Atlanta? Yeah, Atlanta. $54 million, I think, for 3 years is what I saw. So you're going to want to be the highest paid. It just seemed like maybe that's what they were waiting for. So I expect some news on that. But relative to value with tight ends, and especially with a lot of 12 personnel that we've been running lately, I mean, we're usually in the top 3% or top 3 teams running 12 personnel behind basically the Niners and the Rams. And now everybody's starting to catch up. But relative to the rest of the roster in terms of investment in tight ends, because we're going to have to get a second one as well, because Musgrave, as much as I love that dude, is not it. Like, I mean, what percentage of the cap do you think is a good number to say, yeah, that's a good deal, outside of the fact that he is a cog and really important for the offense, but from a tight end standpoint, gobbling up a piece of that salary cap when we have Reed, Watson, Golden, Savion, and man, the rookie kid that they brought in, that undrafted free agent. I think he's going to be pretty good. But so they're all outside of Watson and Reed on these larger contracts. I find it fascinating to see what the tight end market should bear based on this 12 personnel and how much we run it compared to other teams or to other teams. Makes sense? Just let me know. But I expect a Kraft extension here pretty quick. And my alter ego has found several bad tweets that I will be shooting through, rummaging through, and reporting back on. this point. Bruce, out.
Yeah, I'm planning on going over that. I mentioned it a little bit tomorrow, mostly just mentioning it, not really delving into it. But we are going to have to kind of delve into that a little bit more. I wouldn't stress too much about that. I think I have probably worried about that more than I should have in the past. I don't think – it's not that it doesn't matter. I just think they kind of know the numbers more or less. I don't know that it's going to move the numbers a ton. If you come back to me and say, well, look, he got this, I understand, but what we're discussing isn't what necessarily other people get, maybe a little bit, but you know what tight ends get as a percentage of the contract, and we're working out the specific details of what percentage you should get as the tight end that you are. That's really the way that I'm approaching this anyways. You have done X, Y, and Z. You have not done A, B, and C. You've got these injuries. You had the injury. You had maybe one breakout season, and it was only a half a season. These are the variables that I want to dig into. I don't give a crap what some other guy got. And somebody's always got to go first. Somebody's got to go second. So I don't know. I wouldn't stress it all that much. I'm sure it factors in, and I'm sure the agent's going to come screaming in. I mean, I don't even know where that even ranks, that Pitt's contract, but assuming it's very high, as a sort of top 5 comp type of thing, I'm sure he's going to come in and say, hey, wait a minute, we need to come back to the table. But yeah, no, I don't think so. We have here. I'm Batman. There it is.
Bat tweet Batman here. NFL on CBS states off-season's biggest losers, according to, I can't read it because I don't have my bat glasses, but number 1, Jaguars. Number 2, Cardinals. Number 3, here's where it gets controversial, Patriots after a Super Bowl. Come on, man. Appearance, right? And then you have the Packers. And then the Falcons. What exactly did the Packers lose in the offseason? What? Tell me, CBS. Tell me, NFL on CBS. What? Morons!
I'm Batman.
So, Rashawn Gary, obviously. I mean, we lost Rashawn Gary, and obviously everybody knows how elite he is. Everybody is well aware of that situation, and they've talked about it the entire time. I mean, obviously the national media and CBS has ranked Rashawn Gary as the number 1 pass rusher in football for many, many years, and so losing him is obviously something that is going to be hard to overcome. This is a joke for those that don't know. I have no freaking idea. I don't know how they come up with this nonsense. I don't know. And that's what's so annoying about this. And maybe they do it on purpose because they want the controversy or something. They never really explain their takes. I mean, they kind of do in maybe like a paragraph, but it's not even so much like, what is your methodology? What do you do? What is this? How did you come to this? They don't freaking know. They don't care. They don't put any work into this crap. I just saw Diana Rossini, this is some big controversy where she was apparently about to get some massive extension. She was getting $800,000 a year. Now, this isn't necessarily Rossini writing these kinds of articles, but just to give you an idea, maybe she did. I don't know what she did. Just to give you an idea of what these types of guys are getting paid, some of them. Good Lord. This is like 13-year-old blog writing nonsense. Literally, this is the kind of crap you can find on like little hack blogs. No idea what the heck we're doing. All right, folks, that is it. That is all the calls. I have nowhere to go but to bed, I guess, to go home. Appreciate the calls, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.